Good evening, good people. How are you doing? And life wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't for some technical hiccups. But it's all good. I hope you're well. I am sure I will see you guys on here in a mo. Hello, first person that's just joined. How are you doing? I hope you're good. Hi, Ifwa Duku. How are you doing, love? I know I can always rely on you. How are you people? Good evening, good evening, good evening. I was saying life wouldn't be what it is if it didn't have some technical hitches. So, yeah, that's my fault because I forgot I have a new computer and all sorts. But there you go. So welcome, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Speak with Dilys. Welcome to Series 4, Episode 1. I am so chuffed, called Looking Back. Hi Ifwa, hi Evelyn, how are you doing? Hi Remy, how are you? Isaac, how are you doing? I am so happy to have you. Thank you. Everyone's saying they like my earrings. Thank you so much. These I didn't steal. I actually bought these. Because I am known for pilfering my friends' things. So this, I was saying I got this from a friend that took me out to dinner and she was wearing this and I was like, I'll have that. So hi Missy, how you doing sis? Hi Deanna, how are you? Love has mum. I hope she's watching as well. Guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi Shirley, and how are you doing? It is so good to have you guys on here. I feel like I've been speaking all day. Today was the first day of my church getting our new building. And I was leading praise and worship and it was wonderful. So I have literally been speaking from about 11:30 this morning. That's how it feels anyway. Aisha Ankara, thank you for being on here. And Regina as well. And Atta. Thank you guys. As you've joined, please share because we have to just, spread the love. So please do. Cheers. I don't know why that thing is making noise, You know what? Right, let me turn the sound off. I don't know what this thing is doing. But guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Faye. How are you doing? Author Simon, lovely to have you on here. How are you doing? How has your Sunday been thus far? How are you guys liking the glasses as well? I'm trying to look sophisticated and intelligent. So I thought, today, maybe it might be an idea to put on a pair of glasses and make myself look far more intelligent than I really am. You could be as stupid and as dumb as a doornail. But, at the end of the day, once you've got glasses on, you'll always look a little bit smart. So I thought I would kind of go for the sophisticated look, Hopefully I'm winning you over. I sound like Prince Charles, don't I? Hello, Malcolm. How are you doing? I know that you were in prison, not real prison, but Facebook prison for a bit, because now they throw everyone in prison. So now I try and make sure that I zip it. I don't get into any problems with nobody. I don't want no problems. I just want to come here, do my thing, and go and sit down. So I don't get into it with anyone anymore. So there you go. So Sharon, thank you for being on here. Winnie says he loves the glasses. Thank you very much. Also says you're looking super cool and sophisticated. Thank you very much. Even said you look so elegant as always. Bless you. Thank you. It's a hairstyle because I was in church today, so I had to look respectable and I had to look innocent, which obviously I am. A combination of the two, innocence and respectability. That's your girl. Hi Doreen, how are you? Lovely to have you on here, guys. We are going to have a great time today because I'm excited. This is the 40th episode of Speak with Dilys. We've had 39 conversations. This is the 40th. We're going to have the 40th riveting conversation on Speak with Dilys, actually. Hi, Princess. Lovely to have you on here. So, guys, what are we going to be speaking about tonight? Well, I'll tell you in just a minute. So, for those of you who don't know me, and I've seen some names that I'm not familiar with, so welcome to you. My name is Dilys Series. I am a qualified and accredited life coach. I specialize in relationships. I do Christian coaching and grief as well. But what I've done is I have recently, as in 2 days ago, set up a Facebook group called Speak with Dilys, where the conversations that we have here, I will be offering coaching sessions on some of those topics privately. So I think it just makes it a lot easier for people to know what it is that they can come to me with. Okay? So that is what I'm going to be doing. So that's one part of what I do. I'm also a best-selling author of the book, Not This Widow. That was my second book. My first book is called Predator or Prince, How to Find the Man of Your Dreams, Not Your Nightmares. And that can be found on Amazon. What else do I do? I'm a public speaker and I am an event host. I will be speaking for the Rotary Club. I am one of their speakers for International Women's Day. 10th of March, the details will be on the fan page. I believe they're on there now. You can register to listen to some amazing speakers that I have, have the honor of being invited to join. We'll be having some great conversation on that day as well. So just to give you a quick run through of what I'm up to and what I do before we start. And the last thing, put the 22nd of April in your diaries because Speak with Dilys goes live. So we are going to be in a lovely venue in central London on a Friday from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. You know, with me, there has to be something to eat and something to drink. So that will be for the VIPs, and obviously you're all VIPs. So if you want to get a VIP ticket, you're most welcome to do so. Details of that event will be posted within the next fortnight, okay? Sponsorship for this event is also available, so do contact me if you want to sponsor this event as well. So guys, that is me done. You guys will be the live audience on that day and it's going to be fabuloso. Hala, thank you for joining, and Enoch as well. And Cheryl, you found us, so excellent. Great to have you on here. Okay, so let's get cracking. Guys, you need to share this. If you've just joined, just share this broadcast so we can get cracking. So what are we speaking about tonight? So, what are we speaking about tonight? Today is the 4th series, episode 1, Looking Back. So we will revisit the amazing conversations we've had, from how to support people who struggle with suicidal tendencies to how to build trust after it's been broken, dealing and living with chronic illness, and even how to avoid being a victim of online dating scams. Sunday will mark the 40th. Yes, 40th episode of meaningful, life-changing and inspiring conversations on Speak with Dilys. You can join at 8 o'clock, which is what you have done now. So guys, thank you for joining. Do share this broadcast. And what I did say is that you can obviously jump on this live as well if you wish to share what was your most memorable episode of Speak with Dilys. So by all means do that. Abwaji, thank you for being on here. Mavis Bando as well. Guys, as you join, please invite somebody to come on here as well, because we do have great conversation. So it would be great if you guys would spread the love. So how are you feeling? Thank you, Mavis. It's a top actually and a skirt. Look, right now I'm having just anything I lay my hands on, it just has to be worn. Thank you very much for sharing, Princess. I appreciate that. And you, Evelyn, as well. Thank you so much for sharing. Guys, if you share, just put a comment, shared in the box so that I can obviously thank you. Guys, let's get more of you on here so that we can look at the conversations that we've had. I know some people have asked to be excused because the African Nations Cup is being played. But I still think that you'd have more fun here, but there you go. Thank you, Mavis. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So, how are you feeling? Give me a thumbs up if you're feeling good. Give me a thumbs, there isn't a thumbs down. Give me a sad face if you're not feeling great. I'm feeling okay, just tired. What's new? How are you feeling? Let me know how you're feeling, guys, before I start so that I can acknowledge those who are not feeling too great and hopefully can get you nice and calm and chilled and ready to roll and enjoy. Hi, Alice. Thank you for being on here. Okay, so it looks like a lot of you guys are feeling top notch, which is all right. That's what I like to hear. Wonderful. Great. Sorted. Okie schmoky. So, hi Hetty, how are you doing? So do you guys want to tell me in the comments box what your most memorable Speak with Dilys conversation was? Hi Beverly, how are you doing? Alice Combs says, good evening. Good evening to you, my love. Hi Sister Yemisi, how are you doing? What was your most memorable show? So maybe what might be an idea, hi Marlene, is maybe if I go through the 13 episodes, that might be helpful. Should I do that, or you know already? Give me a thumbs up if you need me to go through the topics. I'm great, Hetty. I'm actually feeling really good, even though I'm tired and I could really do with a massage. There's a lot of tension in my shoulders, but that's because I'm overworked. And under love, don't know how much I can take. But there you go. Hello, up on the Paul Gray. Lovely to have you on here. And Rosemary as well. Guys, when you join, you have to share. What is all this? Okay, right. So let me just give you what the different conversations we've had has been so that it kind of might, jog your memory. Okay, so Burden or Bill Burden or Bill was about the LGBTQ bill that was proposed in Ghana that wanted to further criminalize homosexuality, but make it a lot more far-reaching. And one of the issues that I personally had with this bill was it was just so general that you only needed to breathe the same air as somebody that was within the LGBTQ community and you could be arrested and prosecuted. Thank you, Rosemary. Everyone's loving these earrings. I have worn them before. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, yes, Marlene, I'm going to go through all the different topics that we've had. So if that jogs your memory and anybody wants to come on and share this live with me, you are more than welcome, because that's really what the last, sort of episode or looking back is for. Oh, Sherelle is from Barbados. You're from Barbados. I can't believe you came all the way from Barbados to listen to my show. I have the most amazing Bajan friends. One of them should be jumping on it. I don't know why she's not here. She's called Denise. Denise, where are you? So, Sherelle, thank you for being on here. And it's really lovely to have you. Hi, Rita. How are you doing? So, yes. So, the first one that I did was called Burden or Bill. And that was about the LGBTQ community being further criminal, or homosexuality being further criminalized through this new bill. The problem that I had with it was the fact that it didn't make some of it just, well, to me, all of it didn't really make a lot of sense. But what the part of the bill that really disturbed me was that if you suspected somebody of being part of the LGBTQ community and you didn't report them, then you would be liable to be prosecuted. I thought that was just complete and utter foolishness. And then my other issue with this bill was this thing that we keep saying, like, homosexuality and lesbianism is foreign to our culture. That is a lie. It's very much a part of our culture. And I made reference to boarding school, that when I was in the boarding house, it was like a rite of passage, really, for the junior girls to be initiated into lesbianism. And I don't believe that when we finished school at Form 5, because those days my school didn't have a sixth form, that they suddenly forget about those tendencies. So, what I was saying is that we needed to be a bit more honest about the presence of the LGBTQ community in Ghana, as well as looking at the definition of what culture is. Culture is basically a characteristic of a certain group of people, okay? Now, when we say that it's not part of our culture, as I'm saying, it's not true in boys' schools and girls' schools. So that's just the general conversation that we had, and we kind of took the bill apart a little bit. Molly says, your copy accents are really good. Thank you, because when I was growing up, hi Kweku, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. I actually wanted to be an impersonator. Before I got into all this serious stuff, I really did want to be a stand-up comedian. I'm serious. That is what I wanted to be. So if you ask my mum, from the age of 3, 4, I would, imitate Indian people, because I was obsessed with Indian people. The women, the clothes, the singing, everything. I was obsessed. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do. So that's where all the accents come from. Efwa says, suicide. I learned to be more kinder and understanding than I have been. It was really touching. Thank you. Well, thank you too. Marlene says, wow. Oh, because I said I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, I have different accent that I like to do. Obviously, I love Indian people. I think they're wonderful. I like their food and everything. So for me, it's nothing surprising. That is what I like to do. I like people. I like accents, and that is my passion, So, darling, just thank you and God bless you. Okay, so moving swiftly on, out of your league. I was talking about Kevin Samuels' definition of eligible men and writing off women who want them. So Kevin Samuels basically is a man who gives advice to women. How's my Trinidadian accent? It's not bad, actually, but I have to kind of get in the zone for that one. Okay, so out of your league, we were talking about Kevin Samuels' advice that he was basically, Marlene, get yourself together, girl. The advice that he was giving to certain groups of women who wanted to date certain groups of men. Now, I listened to a few of Kevin Samuels' broadcasts, and I came away with thinking that this man seems to think that he is God. Why do I say that? Because he seems to feel that he can tell women in a fashion that is absolute in regards to who they can or cannot date. And personally, I think it's nonsense. Because looking at myself, I wouldn't, from what he is saying, then I should be I shouldn't even be on the shelf. There should be no shelf for me to rest on. Okay? And I just felt that it was very dangerous for women to take what he was saying as gospel. You know, like when people say, oh, there's some stuff that he said that was accurate. Every lie has a bit of truth in it. Otherwise, you're not going to get any audience. Okay? But what I was finding was a lot of the men were very toxic. That a lot of the men that held on to his every word weren't men that were in good relationship or even in a relationship. And they were men that you could see would immediately jump onto women to tell them how unworthy they were when they weren't saying anything. Because I'm not being funny. At my age, been there, done it, worn the t-shirt. I know who I am. I know what I have to offer. And I know what I want and what I don't want. And I had these little boys of like 30 something whose testicles hadn't yet dropped, trying to tell me what I would be entitled to at my age. And I thought, you don't get to tell me that. But it concerned me because I'm a woman that is confident. I know who I am, you know, in Christ, in myself, in so many different ways. And I'm thinking for the younger woman who hasn't had the experience that I have had, or the confidence that by the grace of God I have been able to acquire, how damaging it would be for them to listen to somebody like that and think, well, actually, no, I'm not worthy. Because all it did, personally, was disrespect a hell of a lot of black women. A hell of a lot of black women. So I wasn't feeling him at all. Anyway, so that was Out of Your League by, talking about Kevin Samuels and his definition of what an eligible woman was. Michelle Jones, thank you for joining. Sherelle is still laughing. Princess said, my favorite episode was Once Bitten. Okay, that was the one about trust. Okay, I did enjoy that myself, actually. Friends Gone Bad was defining friendships and managing our expectations. So that was the one that I did enjoy that as well, because I think we do have a problem managing friendships. And I think I did a mini live a few days ago where I spoke about some people or a person that was a very good friend of mine, and she just switched. And I was saying that, we're not supposed to all be there for the whole journey. Some of us have to just bless these people when they leave our life. Why? Because it's just a question of, look, half empty or half full. That is how you have to look at it. And if you look at it as half empty, then that's when you get into the bitterness and the regret and feeling bad and it affecting your confidence and all of that. When you look at it as half full, that's when you look at the lessons, what you've learned, what you could do better, how you could be better as a friend. And it also allows you to look at where you make your investment in friendship so that you can manage your expectation. So I did enjoy doing Friends Gone Bad as well. I better run through this quickly because I want some of you to jump on here and tell me what you thought. So we'll share this live. Partners with Benefits was establishing healthy friendships first before dating and cultivating, that love connection. And for those that didn't have it, how are you able to introduce the friendship element of your relationship? I loved doing that because I felt that when we go into relationships, just based on the emotional attraction avenue, what tends to happen is the friendship part of it comes underneath the first bit. Whereas if we do it the other way around, I think we could make for more sustainable relationship because that's when we get to actually know people. Okay, guys, if you're watching this and you've just jumped on here or you've been watching it and you've been really mean and not shared it, can you share this live, please? That would be really good. I'd be very grateful. Princess says you broke trust down. Thank you very much. Evelyn Botry, thank you for joining. Marlene says some people are only meant to be in your life for a season, a chapter. It's absolutely correct. And that includes people that die. It's only as I'm reading this that's actually just dawned on me. But, we tend to feel that because we love somebody or because we're connected to people, that they are supposed to live for as long as we live. But even when you think about it in that respect, it doesn't even make sense because one of us has got to go. So I think that even when it comes to friendship, death is part of that. And we don't like to speak about death, but we have to because it is part of life. So that just dropped in my spirit and I just thought I would share that. Kojo is my Kelson. Thank you, Kojo, for joining us. It's very wonderful to have you on here. It's been a long time. I hope you're doing very well. Today is the day of Ascents. Today we are going to Ghana. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Thank you for being on here, Kojo. It's lovely to have you on here. The next one is dust your shoulders off. So how much emphasis we give to others in regards to their opinions of us. And again, I was talking about self-confidence and not allowing what people think to define us, because that can be very dangerous. That it's important that we are self-reflective and we are kind to ourselves during those periods of self-reflection. Because what I always say is that don't say things to other people. Don't say what you wouldn't say to other people to yourself. So when we're like, oh, you know, you're so stupid, you're so fat, you're so ugly, you're so useless, you wouldn't say that to somebody, but we say these things to ourselves. So it's important that we're kind to ourselves in how we address who we are, such that when other people come with their negativity, you are able to already have a good definition and image of who you are. Okay, so that's important. So author Simon says, like you, I heard a few of Kevin Samuel's shows and I found him to be a misogynistic, self-appropriating, God complex of a man, and I am a man. He definitely doesn't represent my views as a man. I hear that. A lot of, I mean, my goodness, I got some very strong comments the day I did that show. Not against me, about they're like, whoa, don't associate him with me. I am a man. I do not think like that. I do not disrespect women or black women like this man. So that was very encouraging. And I think a lot of the sisters needed to hear that as well. Amari, thank you very much for joining. And, you know, I really appreciate you being here. I know that you're quite new to Speak with Dilys, so it's always lovely to see you here every week. So I do appreciate you. Thank you very much. Beauty or the Beast was about women that choose. Yes, Anita, you have Mr. Indian accent. I'm very sorry, darling. Next time you come on time, okay? Don't waste my time, right? Don't be asking me to go back, because life is about moving forward, right? Moving very, very swiftly on, you know? Okay, so Beauty or the Beast was about women who in these times seem to be berated for wearing makeup, that it apparently changes their look so much that it's deceptive to the men that may be interested in them. And I'm like, you need to miss me with that BS, because at the end of the day, women wear makeup for different reasons. Women may put weave on or wear wigs for various reasons. And one thing you have to understand is that women change their appearance depending on what's going on with them or not. So you can have somebody like, I don't know, let me give a good example. A woman who's recently divorced, and maybe she was divorced because her husband cheated on her and has decided she's going for a whole new look and is going to revamp herself. Who are you to say, no, come and appear in public with no makeup on, as bare as the day you were born? That's for you to do to your own. That's why you have your face and I have my own face. You don't get to tell me what to do with my face. My face is my face. If Dilys wants to wear purple lip liner and pink lipstick, that's her business. You need to mind yours. And this feeble, nonsensical reason that it's deceptive to men, because when the man takes you home and you wash your makeup off and he thinks you look like it, and so what? Are there not men that we thought were single, they were not single? Are there not men that we thought were single and they were married? Are there not men we thought we were rich and they were broke like church mouse? So at the end of the day, everybody, now doggy doggo, everybody is deceiving everybody. Why is it when the women do it, it's a problem? And we don't do it with any evil intent. We don't put on makeup to deceive anyone. We put on makeup because we have the right to put on makeup and because it makes us feel good. And I was also saying about the women that get onto other women who, you know, start moaning that, oh, well, you know, they're not natural. Those women complaining lack self-confidence within themselves. Because I'm telling you, quite frankly, I don't really care who's gone and had a BBL, that's a Brazilian butt lift. I don't really care who's gonna have their boobs up. I don't care. You know why? Because that dating pie is so big that you would definitely be able to find a slice for yourself. So that was that one, Beauty or the Beast. I think I actually did that show without any makeup on, because the other myth is that women who wear makeup are too embarrassed about their natural look. Have you guys seen me on some of my lives, like real talk, in my dressing gown and my hair barely combed? Like seriously, not all of us are suffering from that. So when we decide to wear makeup, it's because we want to, and you can't stop us. Okay, Justice for Sylvester. Now this one was a tough one. Justice for Sylvester spoke about a 11-year-old boy who was going to be 12 a few days after he was murdered by his schoolmates. Okay, he was a young child in the boarding house who was being bullied. He was having money taken off him. He had contacted his parents, but they didn't really see the seriousness of what the child was going through. Guys, if you're watching this, please, please, please share. Welcome to the 4th series of Speak with Dilys, episode 1, Looking Back. So we're just talking about the different conversations that we've had. I'm going to be inviting some of you to come on to tell me what your favorite show was and why, or your least favorite, whatever. Just come and share whatever it was that you, or whatever it is that you would like to share about the show. So with Sylvester's story, I wanted to speak about it. If you've noticed, I don't just speak about things that are hot topics because my show is not like that. Me, myself, I am a hot topic. I'm like, don't get it twisted. I am a hot topic. So I don't need to talk about hot topics. I talk about things that I feel are relevant and important, and that there's something that we can learn, or there's an urgency to speak about things. So for that reason, I'm not one to go and look at what's trending and I'll jump on the bandwagon. Dilys doesn't do that. Audrey, thank you for joining. Jay, thank you for being here. Faye, thank you for being on here as well. And SC Omwa Agege, thank you, my dear. And Nana Yao and Tim, thank you. A Poyo, thank you for being on here as well. I'm going to go back and read some of your comments. I'm going to still, just skip through a few. So yes, justice for Sylvester, as usual, when things happen back in Ghana, Nigeria, and, places like that, justice is rarely served. And I do believe the case with Sylvester, has actually it's just been quashed, really. It's just gone cold. So I did the show to, speak about the things that we need to look at or look out for when our children are in boarding schools. And I spoke about, the wider conversation was being able to identify when your child is afraid or when your child is in trouble. That younger kids obviously do not have the vocabulary to be able to articulate emotionally what they're going through. So you may find children may exhibit certain, bad behaviors because they're trying to get your attention. So every time you see your child misbehaving, it's not because they're being insolent or because they're disrespectful, or because they're bad. Because as African parents, some or black parents, some we just think when a child is acting like the child is just bad, the child is trying to tell you something. Okay, so something we need to pay attention. And I was talking about body language. In Sylvester's case, he did contact the parents to try and say something. Because if you know you've given your child money that should last them a term, and after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they're calling to say, my money's run out, my food's gone, come on. And there had been an incident in the school where the parents, were notified, and some of those boys who eventually killed Sylvester, I'm not even going to use the word allegedly, who killed Sylvester, were suspended. So that was justice for Sylvester. Cat That Caught the Fish was about the perils of online dating scams. And I was, talking to you guys about the things to look out for. Some of them are pretty obvious and things that you can do to, be a little bit more clued up about who it is you're speaking to online. I get a lot of people that inbox me, trust me. Some of it I'm just like, you know what, please do better than that. I had one guy, and you see, one thing with me, and this you can't teach, I have a very, very strong spirit of discernment. For example, whenever anyone, without exception, has done something to me anonymously, I have always found out who they were. Always. When my husband passed away, I was getting some very nasty messages, how I'm glad your husband is dead. And I suspected some people, because they are of that level and they could do something like that. And this person was sending me messages. Even the day of my husband's funeral, they posted stuff on social media. Very disgusting, nasty stuff. I found out who it was. I found out who it was because it was their time to be exposed. And I managed to track them down with the help of somebody. I managed to find out who her husband was. I actually posted it on my Facebook. She was a woman that actually owned a nursery, who buried her own child some years before I lost my husband, and yet she still had it in her to be so demonic and so evil. You can't, listen, when you're dealing with people who have got a clean heart and don't wish anyone evil, don't ever think you can do them bad and get away with it. Listen, that woman would send me messages on my Instagram, on my Facebook, till this day, from the day I caught her, guess who's never had a message again? Miraculously, guess who's never had a message again from that psychopath? Very, very evil and disgusting woman. So there you go. So that was that. So, you've got to be careful with people online. You've got to do your necessary due diligence, and one of the things I said is, if you are being spoken to by either a man or a woman, and they start to ask you for money, that's a red flag. That is when you need to rein it in. You cannot buy love. Trust me, you can't. Because if you try, believe you me, whatever you're paying, you're still in deficit. Don't go there. Ashes to ashes. Sorry, no. The next one was episode 9, which was holding back the years, our expectations for the coming year. So that basically was a laid back one. If you remember, I had been ill for about 2 weeks. To be honest, I got COVID again. I was ill. So I couldn't come online and do Speak with Dilys. So I decided, I think the day before, not to be a lazy cow and to get on here and do what I do best. Hallelujah, praise God. So yes, that's where we are thus far. So I'm going to read some of your comments. Please, who is going to join me today and tell me what they liked about Speak with Dilys? All right, so let me read a comment from Yemisi. She said, I have to say my favorite 3 shows are Out of Your League, Friends Gone Bad, and Dust Your Shoulders Off. Can't pick one. Bless you, sis. Papa says, well done. Thank you so much. And Anaya said, it's been a while. Thank God for this session. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It has been a while, actually. Cheryl said, let's have a Jamaican accent. Well, let me tell you something. Darling, I don't know if you live in England or if you live in Jamaica, but there was a show called The Real McCoy. And that is where I learned to do a Jamaican accent. And if you don't know, let me just tell you, I used to work in Alsden. Not Halden, but Alsden, because Alsden is a Alsden is a Alsden. And I loved it there. And the people used to tell me, darling, is you African or is you Jamaican? Because your name sound like it is African, but you definitely is a Jamaican. Well, darling, I'm not a Jamaican. I'm a Ghanaian. But there you go. Thank you. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Moving very swiftly on. Okay, so Essie Omo, there you go. How are you doing? Princesses, I enjoyed that too. It was really funny. Face of goodness, your accents, I'm cracking up. Listen, I should charge for this. J.O.B.K., how are you doing? I love Audrey. Author Simon says, Sylvester episode was my fave, but not for good reasons. I know. I hear that. Tanya, thank you for being on here. Lolita, how you doing? Vera, I'm seeing some new names on here. So guys, those of you that don't know me, my name is Dilys. I'm a life coach. I'm an author. I'm a public speaker. I'm a general pain in the butt. But there you go. People seem to love me. And they come here every Sunday to just hear me waffle. Hallelujah. So thank you guys for being on here. Faye Clinton, your touches of humor is like adding salt and pepper. Which, you know what, Faye? The reason why I do that, apart from the fact that I'm just a bit psycho, is because a lot of the stuff that we talk about on here is very, very, very heavy. And I do not want this space to be a space of sadness. I want us to be able to express how we feel, but be able to move forward. You know, don't forget, when I used to do Who Will Hear My Cry, raising awareness on rape, child abuse, and domestic violence, I had to find a way to strike that balance. I couldn't have my timeline saturated with somebody that had been raped or sexually abused or beaten to death. You know, in life, everything has to be balanced. So as much as we talk about stuff that is serious, you know, we've spoken about the death of a 12-year-old, you know, and then we're talking about, you know, friendship, there has to be that balance. So I try my best to give, you know, good variety for those very reasons. So thank you for noticing. God bless you. Enam, how are you doing? Ajwa Prempe is watching. Abana Baldy Gray. Oh, I know that face is about the people that were sending me message. Listen, you don't know my story. You don't know the things that I've been through. You cannot imagine. Well, let me tell you something. I have been through a lot of stuff. But like I say, what you see is grace in motion. You don't see a finished article. You see a woman who is going through, has gone through. But when we get down, when we fall down, we get up. So I am just here to show you what is possible. I am not anything special. Okay? Bishop Dorothy Kolawole. She is one of the most amazing women on the face of this planet. Trust me. She's a wonderful woman. Welcome, Bishop. Thank you for being here. Gracious Bonita and Ronald Rice, how are you doing? Amadorine is giving me the Jamaican flag, so I hope I passed the test. Evelyn, you guys are just, I'm just seeing you guys all laughing. On point Jamaican accent, sister. Yes, sister. Thank you very much. Lynette Douglas, how are you doing? Niallsbrook Jackson says, I think what I liked most was a running theme more than a particular episode. You stress being intentional with yourself and your own well-being and being intentional with how you deal with others. God bless you. Thank you. AC and Bang, thank you for being on here. And he says, Bishop is, I know Bishop is in the house. Beatrice, yes, how are you doing? You are just saying my mind right now. God bless you. Now, Beatrice, I got to know after I lost my husband. She runs an amazing widows group. She does phenomenal work. We're talking about a woman that puts widows in employment, supporting them emotionally, mentally. I've even spoken at some of her events before. So she's based in Nigeria. Go and check out Beatrice Yesifu. She's an amazing woman. Sonia, how are you doing? Lovely to have you here. Lynette Douglas says, doesn't matter how many times you get up as long as you keep doing just that. Absolutely. Praise God. Exactly. So we fall down, but we get up. I think Donnie McClurkin sang a song. I actually sang with Donnie McClurkin once, a long time ago. We shared a stage together. He's a lovely man. So yes, he sang a song about falling down, but getting back up. Very important. So, Indecent Proposal was how to resist temptation in a committed relationship. I enjoyed doing that particular episode. So we were just talking about putting some sensible safeguards in place, not waiting until you're in a situation and relying on willpower to get you out, but rather being proactive, recognizing that you're with somebody that you are committed to, and therefore not wanting to ruin that relationship by going to do what can be easily avoided. So I was saying that if you know that you're attracted to a particular kind of person, and you know that you're committed, then you avoid putting yourself in a situation where your interaction with that person is more than it needs to be. And if my memory serves me correctly, I shared a story of when I was in an amazing event in New York City, it's many, many years ago, way before I got married, but I was dating my then husband. And I met this guy who was a lawyer. He was a partner in one of these American banks. And let me tell you, the brother was fine. He put the F in fine. He was so fine. Like, I can't even describe. You're talking smelt good, tall, handsome, well-spoken, classy. You know, a real man in every sense of the word. He gave me his business card. And guess what I did? I dropped it in the bin. You know why? Because I don't like trouble. Sometimes that is what you have to do to resist temptation. I wasn't even married then. I just started dating my boyfriend who became my husband. We'd only been dating for 3 months. 3 months, you know. I'm a very loyal person. I don't, you know, when I'm for you, I'm for you. So that's me. So that was what Indecent Proposal was. Ashes to Ashes was obviously the show about suicide, and it was, that funny is obviously not the right word, but it was interesting that after we did that episode, a lot of people reached out to me, and that's when I realized how important this show is. That week, Regina King's son, her only child, committed suicide, and then the former Miss USA, is it Chesley Christ? Beautiful girl, jumped from her apartment block and she killed herself. 2 very young, precious people that had so much to offer. Gone. So that show for me, I think was probably one of my favorites because it allowed us to have a conversation that we never have a conversation about because of religion, culture, and it's just not what you talk about. Yet people are dying. I think I gave the stats on that episode that 700,000 people commit suicide globally every year. That doesn't count the attempted suicides. And that 15 to 29-year-olds, that was the highest rate of death or form of death within that age bracket. Can we afford to lose our young people like that? We can't. So what do we need to do to be able to support our loved ones in a way that is not judgmental, a way that's not religious, that's just compassionate. Compassion doesn't know religion. Compassion is just compassion. Loving people doesn't come under religion. It's just compassion. And we've got to learn to do that. And I spoke about, you know, how we're able to listen more, and people that, you know, maybe are predisposed to having suicidal tendencies because of mental health. How are we able to recognize, you know, the signs in being able to be there for them, and the kind of language you need to use, and and not guilt tripping people and making it about us, you know? So what I would say to you guys is, do go back. If you've missed any of them, go back and watch them. Just make a coffee, do something, and just chill out, pour a glass of wine and watch some of these episodes, because it's not just what I share, but what other people share as well. And on that note, just to say very quickly, and I should have posted the link, I have opened a Speak with Dilys group on Facebook. Please join, because what's going to happen is any subject that I speak about, I will be having deeper conversations with people. So it will be part of a deeper coaching experience. Okay, so go on there, join, be part of this community, because we can only make changes if we do them locally. Eunice, thank you very much for being here. Donald as well. Marnie says, when you see people looking mighty fine, you do not know what they are dealing with. I'm telling you, because that former Miss America, she had everything going for her on the outside, but inside there was something that was, you know, not gelling for her. Amadori, thank you. Oh, Eunice, how do you pronounce your name properly? Eunice. Thank you for being on here. Oh, well, I wish you a very speedy recovery. I hope you recover, you know, well, and you do rest. Author says, do you have a link for the group you just mentioned? Yes, I do. Okay, so anyone that is in the group, could you kindly post the link of the group on here? So the group is called Speak with Dilys, or if you go to groups and you search Speak with Dilys, you will find it. Helena, thank you for joining. Princess Diana, thank you for being on here, my sweetheart. So the next one that we did was Once Bitten. So I think that's Princess's favorite one, which was about trust. You know, can you rebuild trust once it has been broken? And we were talking not just of love relationships, but general relationships as well, whether it's business and what have you. Eulinus. Yes, Eulinus. Thank you very much for that. Thank you, my dear. I hate people mispronouncing my name, so I do like to get it right. So Eulinus, thank you so much. And the last one was Don't Be a Pain, which was last week's one, where we were talking about living with chronic illness. I thought that was a pretty important and quite a personal one for me as well, even though I have never suffered from having a chronic illness. I obviously had a late husband that did. And so it was very close to home for me. Right. Those are the 13 episodes that we have done on Speak with Dilys. So guys, I would like for some brave person who would like to jump on here and tell me, gosh, it's hot in this kitchen today. Tell me what their favorite Speak with Dilys episode was. And let's have a bit of a conversation. Don't be shy. Somebody? Is there anybody there? Or should I just pick somebody at random? Now, you wouldn't want me to do that because you might not be dressed. And trust me, this is a children's show. We don't want to see nothing. All right? So, guys, if you're on here, do share. Share away. Come on, guys. The last time I had so many people that came on here. You must be tired of hearing me speak. Okay, somebody says, ooh, your group are not always easy to gain access. I was unable to contribute on a few of your sessions. A few of my sessions? Do you mean here? Marlene, if you want to join this live and tell me what you think about Speak with Dilys, I'll invite you on here. And I'm sure you should be okay on here. Let me just see what your comments are saying. So guys, as I've given you the 13 episodes, tell me which ones were your favorites and why. Marlene, okay, coolio. So let me invite you on here. Now, how do we do that? She said not today in the bath currently. Oh, in that case, moving swiftly on. Hi, Patience, how are you doing? Lovely to have you on here. So am I going to have to beg you guys? Okay, well, if no one wants to come on or if you change your mind, let me know. We've got 15 minutes left. Put in the comment box, what was your favorite show and why? Okay, said, I liked the suicide session. Please don't what, Marlene? I'm not going to call you on if you're in the bath. You'll have to know. I'm not going to just call people on here. If you want to come on, do let me know. So tell me what it is, what you liked about it. So Uranus, did you want to come on here? Let me see. Gosh, you're mighty shy today. What is going on? And you normally have so much to say. Someone, Anita says, so tragic. I think you must have been talking about the episode with Sylvester, I think. Ronald, thank you very much for being on here. And I'm a Doreen as well. I don't know if I've mentioned, I've given you a shout out. I think I have. Okay, guys. So shall we just listen? Okay, someone has just said, every session was different. Yeah, it was. Marley says, call me on another time, will do. No problem at all. So yes, I think every session was different. And it was, the thing is, I don't want to talk about my own show. I want you to talk about the show. But I do feel that, yes, it was very diverse, because I think we have a very diverse group of people that watch this. Got men, women of different age groups. And I do think the conversations that we have, though people have these conversations maybe all the time, I don't think we have these conversations in the same capacity. And that is why. Eunice says, gave alternative and new ways of helping people in trouble. Yeah, I hope so. And I think what validated the conversations are the contributions that you guys gave. Because everything that I spoke about, there was somebody that had had that experience that was willing to share, to give encouragement to other people. And that is what I personally found most encouraging about Speak with Dilys. Because I found people, it was the openness, the honesty, the transparency, the support. That's what makes it so enjoyable for me. You know, because if you're talking about stuff that nobody can relate to, then what's the point? You know, Marlene says, great to hear different perspectives. Exactly, that's what I loved about it. Jefton Nelson, thank you for being on here. I don't know if you've been on here before, but my name is Dilys, and I do this every week at 8 o'clock, and we have conversations ranging from anything to anything. That's what we talk about, anything to anything. Lynette Douglas says, the show about suicide had a profound effect, and although painful, was very necessary. Currently dealing with this situation, and I'm really sorry to hear that. And I think, yeah, you did share something before, and I hope you guys are getting on well. And I know that you do some work, you know, around this subject matter. So all the very best with that. And I think we just need to be just a little bit more intentional with the way we treat people, and be a little bit more in tune with others, because people are really going through a lot. There's pressure everywhere. And I think everybody responds to love, you know, when it's genuine. And sometimes people may respond negatively initially because it's not something that they're used to. They're not used to people caring. They're not used to people being compassionate. They're not used to people sticking around. So when you come and you say, look, I'm here for you. I want to help you. I love you. I want to support you. Sometimes you are met with suspicion. But if you're really genuine, you'll hang in there and you'll give the support and the love that you need to that person. Especially when it comes to young people. It is difficult. There's times where it's like, oh my gosh, it's just too much. But because people have let them down so much, and you know, often this is taken into adulthood, they just test the water to see, are you really genuine? Do you really mean what you say? Cedric, thank you for being on here. And Aminua, thank you for being on here as well. Welcome to the first episode of the 4th series of Speak with Dilys. Great to have you on here. If you've joined, please do share. I've got about 10 minutes left, guys. So keep your comments coming. I think one of the other things that I've appreciated is the conversations that have gone on even after we've finished speaking. I think that's why I thought, you know what, let's have a group where you can connect more with people. Because I know we come on here every week, but it doesn't give you the opportunity to get to know people like it would if you're in a group. So do join and continue the conversations there, and, you know, be a support to one another. Because let me tell you something about building a community. Building a community just simply means you bring people alongside yourself. Essentially, that's just what it means. For a common cause and a common goal. And what is the common goal? For me, Speak with Dilys is about having conversations that people wouldn't typically have in order for people to heal and in order for people to build more sustainable relationships. That is why Speak with Dilys exists, to highlight things that we normally wouldn't speak about, but we need to speak about because it's affecting too many people, like suicide, like chronic illness, even, having our kids in boarding schools and wondering how safe they are. A lot of us are products of, boarding schools. A lot of us are a product of that environment. And yet we're sending our kids back into that environment and not equipping them to deal with what we should have been, equipped with, in the year 1664. So it's about us constantly challenging our thinking and being able to impart that knowledge onto others and understanding how people feel. I mean, look at the conversation we had about the LGBTQ community. I thought that was very important because until that point, people were very ignorant about that community in Ghana. Oh, those people, some of the things that I read was like, wow. You do realize they're human beings, right? You do realize you're talking about people, as in people that have got 2 arms, 2 legs, unless something's happened, just like me and you. And yet we spoke about a group of people as if they were below animals. I have a problem with that. And then when you want to bring innocent people into your foolishness, that if you suspect that somebody may be from the LGBTQ community, someone who's gay, lesbian, or trans, if you don't report it, you too can be prosecuted. I'm thinking, doing drugs is illegal, Abby. Was this person doing drugs when they wrote that bill? All jokes aside, how could you even write something like that and think it's sensible? So basically, I can sit here and think, let me just pick a name at random. I can sit here and say, I suspect author Simon of being gay. And just because I suspect, that is grounds for him to be arrested? For what? And I've always said this, even from when I was running the charity. I will always have a problem with every society or any community that is more concerned about the LGBTQ community than about pedophiles and rapists. More concerned. Because with the group of people that are victimized through rape and child abuse, there is no consent. There is no consent. You are having lives destroyed and taken in one of the worst ways possible. But I don't see anybody marching about that. I don't see anybody passing bills. I mean, in Ghana, you can still rape your wife because there is no law, because spousal rape is not recognized in law in Ghana. But you cannot possibly tell me that just because a man is married to his wife, that he's incapable of raping her. I don't see anybody, in Parliament shouting about that. Doesn't bother anybody. But the LGBTQ bill was the passion around that for me, it was ludicrous. For me, it's about priorities. Let's get our priorities straight. But in all of this, we have to recognize that we're still dealing with people's children. Whoever is classed as LGBTQ, that's somebody's son, somebody's daughter. They are human beings, for God's sake. Is that the best we can do? Is that the best we can do? For me, it was a problem. Not because of anything other than the fact that you are dealing with people. And surely there must be a better way of dealing with people. Adwa Premper said, I agree with you, 100%. Read the LGBTQI discussion. Oh, Akuya Sakudi, thank you, Adwa. Akuya Sakudi is in the house. Thank you very much for being here. If you're on here, please share. We are going to be wrapping up soon. I've only got 4 minutes. That went kind of quick. So yes, that was one of the topics that I felt very passionately about. And I think it was because I just read some of the comments about the LGBTQI community and I thought, wow. For me, I couldn't look at another human being and categorize them as less than animals because of their sexual, preference orientation. I just couldn't do that. I just says, and the Ghanaian community has so many churches and practicing Christians, but our Christian beliefs are twisted to suit the circumstances of the day. Well, yes, I mean, I've said this before and I'll say it again. When we speak about Christianity, the Bible calls us unto holiness, not unto heterosexualism. Okay, it says that be holy for I am holy. The Bible didn't say be heterosexual because I am heterosexual. And why am I saying this? Because the sexuality is not the issue, it's whether you are holy. And if you are holy in accordance to what the Bible is saying, then whether you identify as being heterosexual or not, it's quite irrelevant because you're not acting on your sexuality to do anything. So he's called us unto holiness, not heterosexualism. Okay? So from that standpoint, and when the commission is to love people as Christians, we failed. In that respect, we failed. And I think, again, nobody's innocent. I don't think the LGBTQ community is innocent, and I don't think the Christian community is innocent. I think both parties, to a great degree, have practiced a level of arrogance and intolerance of each other. Because me, I'm very balanced. I'm not just going to talk about the church. I will talk about the LGBTQ community as well. Sometimes the arrogance and sense of entitlement on both sides is what the issue is, as opposed to people being compassionate enough and humble is the word, humble enough to have a conversation. I remember watching something, and I don't know if I shared this during that show, but I remember watching something some years back, and it was amazing. And basically it was about 3 princes. One was South African, one was Indian, and one was from a Scandinavian country, can't remember. One was European anyway. The Indian prince was gay. And obviously the family were trying to find him a female wife, and they weren't happening. Now the South African guy was a Zulu. And he was like, there is nothing more disgusting than someone being gay, a man sleeping with another man. It was like, for him, he was like out. But these 3 guys had to live together. And during their time together, the Indian prince and the South African prince, they became like the best of friends. Let me tell you something, gay community. Let me tell you something, Christian community. Sometimes what is required is not gay people harping on about their rights. Neither is it about the Christian community harping on about sin. But sometimes it's about just 2 human beings coming together at a table to break bread and have a conversation to get to know each other. People fear what they don't know. And that is why I said that there is no one entirely innocent. In this country, if you say anything about it, it could be as innocent as, you're homophobic. What nonsense. Sometimes people just have opinions. Sometimes people are ignorant. But if somebody is ignorant, what is the cure for ignorance? Is it not education? So if you who are from the LGBTQ community don't have the patience to educate, but the first thing that you would do is, you're homophobic. Guess what happens? You still have left that person ignorant. As much as this South African prince was ignorant, what he learned by just being in constant contact and communication with the Indian prince, all he realized was that he was human. And if my memory serves me correctly, in the end, he referred to this guy as his brother. Isn't that what life is about? We don't have to agree. I don't have to agree with homosexuality. I don't have to. And you don't have to agree with Christianity. But what we have to agree to do is to have mutual love, respect, and compassion for one another. The world is not about agreement. The world is about tolerance. The problem that we have had is because each side is intolerant, which means both sides are equally wrong. And this is why it's important that we get to know each other. Humble yourself. Humble yourself and say, right, okay, I understand that you don't understand what it means to be gay, blah, 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 but I'm about to educate you. No, it was not a choice. This is how I was born. No, I didn't wake up one morning and say, oh, well, today it's the 7th of February. I feel like being gay today. So, I'm going to put my gay hat on and I'm going to be gay until maybe the 14th. That's not quite how it works. But for those that think that is how it works. Educate somebody. Educate somebody. You know? Christian community. What have we been asked to do? Love without limits and without exception. That's it. We haven't been called to condemn. Even Jesus said, I didn't come to condemn the world. I came to save it. So how do we get into a place where we are condemning people? That is not what we have been commissioned with. Our job is to love, period. Not to agree, to love. That's all I'm saying about that one. So George Kingsley, thank you for being on here. Adjoa says, tolerance, listening, getting to know each other. Exactly, thank you. Thank you too. George says, great. Peggy and Kitia, how are you doing, my love? George Williams, thank you for being on here. Adele, my darling, how are you? I know you're a little late today, so you're going to have to get a replay. So guys, please do share. Oh, I'm over my time. You do realise what that means. End of Speak with Dilys. Guys, I don't know what I'm going to be talking about next week. It certainly won't be a recap, so I hope that you have enjoyed Series 3 and all the wonderful conversations that we have had and continue to have. God bless you all. It's been a wonderful experience for me. Just to remind you again, 22nd of April, there is going to be a Speak with Dilys launch in central London. You will be the live audience. Tickets will be sold. There are sponsorship opportunities, so do let me know. And yeah, it would be just wonderful. So have a wonderful week, guys. Thank you for being on here. Adele says, I'll see you next week. See you, Adele. Evelyn, thank you so much. Sherelle, thank you. You have a great week too. Marlene says, no judgment, just acceptance of difference. Absolutely. Do you know? Oh, the world would be amazing if we could do that. AC and Basie, thank you, Dilys. Happy Sunday, dear. It's happy Sunday to you, my love. Much love to you always. Do share this broadcast. And, you know, we're going to grow this community and we are going to go from strength to strength, because I really do believe that, you know, we can make a difference and just be human and just love people. Marley says, thank you for another great session. Thank you too. I just said, thanks for another great evening. Thank you. Author is giving me the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Eunice says, thank you. Jules says, thanks. Faye, love and peace to everybody. Guys, I am going to go. Mami, Adjoa, Safwa, love your name. You've just joined and we're just leaving. So do catch the replay. And guys, have a wonderful week. I shall see you next Sunday at 8 o'clock, Series 4, Episode 2. Guys, peace out. And I shall let you know what is happening with the event over the next 2 weeks. There'll be flyers and everything. God bless you all. Remember, be tolerant, be loving, be compassionate, and listen. Guys, I shall catch you next week. God bless. Bye. Bye, Ronald. Bye, sweethearts.